JJ the CPA here. Quick video. I had kind of a light bulb moment, so to speak, this morning, and I got a comment from Kimberly, and she had asked about whether or not PPP was taxable, and was it then not taxable at federal, but maybe taxable at the state level. And she asked it on a PUA video. And so I replied and said, well, PPP is not taxable. The expenses that it incurs or pays for is not going to be deductible. But the light bulb moment that went off related to PUA is that the money that's given is not taxable. It's not income. And so the law indicates that it's not income. In essence, it's a non-taxable grant, and then to the extent that you don't use it as intended, so to speak, then you have to pay that portion back. So from my perspective, there's never a time that PPP becomes taxable. Okay, so there are times that you can get a grant, and then what you don't use, you don't have to return. But if you don't have to return it, then it becomes taxable. That's not how PPP works. The way PPP works is, here's some money, use it as prescribed. If you don't, then you need to pay that portion back. So if PPP never becomes taxable, which means that it's never going to become income, I don't know why it would affect PUA. Now, this is an opinion. You're not going to find anything in writing from the government that tells you what I just told you, other than you're going to find in the act that this is non-taxable income. You're going to find in SBA that this is not taxable income. It is not reportable income. You will find that in writing. What you're going to find in writing by the IRS is that whatever you spend the money on for qualified expenses, you won't be able to deduct those expenses. You're going to find from the SBA, and you're going to find in the law that it indicates that whatever you don't spend, or whatever you don't spend properly, for lack of a better word, you have to return it. You throw all that together, from my perspective, it never becomes income. PPP never becomes income. Therefore, if it's never income, how would it affect PUA? How would it affect the pandemic unemployment assistance? Because what affects PUA is income, and every state's different. So I'm not giving you an answer. I'm not giving you permission. You're still going to have to check with your state. Only your state will be able to give you the answer related to PUA and PPP, and really any questions you have about PUA, any of them have to be resolved by the state. It's not even worth asking anybody else. It's not worth it, because only the state will be able to resolve whatever questions you have related to PUA. So there are a handful of states that are inquiring of PUA. They're inquiring of PPP when you're getting PUA. So here's the thing. I mean, if I was going to get PUA, I'm not going to get PUA. I just don't need it, and I've got my PPP, and it's covering my wages, and I'm back working. But if I were going to get PUA, I think after my light bulb moment this morning, I would not be concerned with considering PPP income, meaning I wouldn't consider PPP money income, because it's not. The law says it's not. Law states that if whatever you spend it on, you don't get to deduct those expenses. That doesn't make it income, period. The law indicates that whatever you don't spend, you have to return. Whatever you don't spend properly, you have to return. If you have for lack of a better word, like a haircut, you got to return it. Never does it become income. Therefore, how could it affect PUA? Interesting. So I just wanted to share my thought on that. Kimberly, thanks for kind of knocking loose a few wires up here, and for the light bulb moment to come out of that. And maybe that's where you were going with your question. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. If you need PUA, go apply for it. You don't need to ask any questions. Go apply for it. okay? Don't even ask me any questions about PUA, okay? Because you just need to go apply for it or get the answer at the state in terms of a real answer, a true answer. All right, hey, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Maybe I already asked you to do that, but I'd love it if you would. Thanks so much for tuning in. And then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.